today I'm going to discuss App Academy's non-technical interview. Going to the next slide. So what is App Academy's non-technical interview? It is a 30-minute interview about thereabouts. There are no technical questions, and we're assessing soft skills, overall resilience, coachability, specifically for the job search, and motivations for becoming a software engineer. We want to see that you have that strong motivation aside from money to become a software engineer. Going to the next slide. So how does this whole non-tech interview process works? So you will receive a link through Spark Hire. This will happen either once you finish your code along project or right after you've done the admissions survey, depending on how you did on that. And so you'll receive the link via Spark Hire, and it will invite you to complete a remote one-way 30-minute video interview. The interview details will be provided in the email from Spark Hire, and it's going to be sent to the email you have on file with us at App Academy. You'll have 7 days to complete the non-tech interview from receiving the invite, and the exact due date and time will be specified in that invite. Please keep in mind that if you love doing face-to-face interviews, which I know some people are more like that, we do have an alternative option, which is to complete the non-tech interview live with an alumni. So that's really cool. So that's also an option. If you want to do that option, please reach out to your admissions specialist and they can help you with scheduling that. Okay, this is just an example of the Spark Hire interview email invite you'll get. As you can see here, there's a link. So view interview invitation. So again, there's no scheduling the Spark Hire interview. It's just like you click that button and then you can start doing the interview. So just want to be clear there. Again, this is the interview page. After you click that link, it takes you here. So it doesn't just start recording you right when you click that button. You have to click go to your interview. Okay, so the non-tech interview is a total of 10 interview questions. So that means you should spend about 2 to 3 minutes per question. The Spark Hire platform will actually allow you to test your setup, so your mic and camera, as soon as you enter the interview. You will want to make sure that this is still working ahead of time, of course. A tutorial on the Spark Hire platform will be provided and kind of walk you through how to use the platform. The recording doesn't start automatically. You click the interview invite button before starting, and then you can kickstart your interview. Okay, so going into more on how it works. So after each question is asked, you will actually have 30 seconds of think time before you are prompted to answer. And you'll have up to 2 to 3 minutes to answer each question. You don't need to fill the time if you sufficiently answer the question. Some questions require up to 30 minutes, while others will just require less than a minute, right? And concise is good too. You just want to make sure you fully answered the question. And you have three chances to answer each question. That's pretty important info too. So what we're looking for, first off, is professionalism, right? So App Academy prepares its students for the job search. We need to see that you can carry yourself professionally. We're looking at English language proficiency. The program will be taught in English. You will need professional working English language proficiency to be successful in the program and your job search for jobs in the US. You'll want to have a passion for coding, right? Of course, that should go without saying, but this is a stressful boot camp. And a passion for coding will greatly improve your ability to handle the intensity of our boot camp. The part-time boot camp is obviously like less intense than full-time. So that that's like newer information, but just wanted to share. You will have to show an understanding of software engineering. So I recommend you look up videos on YouTube regarding the day in the life of a software engineer and what that looks like, and try to think to yourself, is what they're doing something I would enjoy doing on a daily basis? Would I find this fun and not consider this to be work, right? As they say, you never work a day in your life when you enjoy what you do. So that's always a great thing if you can accomplish it. Resiliency and work ethic. So, time management, stress management, and a strong drive are necessary to thrive in this program. So, you will want to have specific examples of that. Ability to work well in a team. We're also assessing that in our questions. We look at that because approximately half of the day will be spent on pair programming. And so you'll need to be able to collaborate well with others. And keep in mind, too, once you're a software engineer, you're not just going to be coding alone all the time. You will work in a team and you'll be working on a specific app potentially, right? And you have to be able to communicate well and work with others. Openness to diversity. So one of our core values at App Academy is creating a positive, inclusive environment for all students. So we expect all students to treat each other with empathy and respect, of course. And persistence in the job search. The job search can take anywhere from a month to up to a whole year to land a role, right? To be successful, you will need to maintain a positive attitude and keep pushing towards your goal of becoming a software engineer, not lose hope. You will also be faced in the job search with difficulties, right? And need to be able to weather that storm. And we want to hear about your previous job searches during the non-tech interview and how you worked through that to land your role. Some more interview tips I have. So first off, prepare a 2 to 3 minute personal pitch. In this personal pitch, address your educational background, your career history, why you're interested in software engineering, and why you want to attend App Academy. It should take you about 1 to 2 hours of prep time for the non-tech interviews. Not crazy at all. Take a moment to think about why software engineering is your chosen career path, right? Like, what is it that you like about it? Very, very important. Money can be a factor in that, I want to say, but I mean, it really has to be beyond that. You have to have a passion for it. Figure out what makes App Academy stand out to you. Do you like for example, JASP curriculum or JavaScript Python curriculum? Do you enjoy paired programming? Do you like having the structure of the full-time program? Do you like the fact that you can work full-time and do the part-time program? So whatever it is that attracts you to App Academy, really come up with some good answers to that. I recommend dressing business casual. So it doesn't have to be crazy fancy or anything, but just professionally, right? And take your interview on your computer, of course, not your phone. So bottom line is to just treat this as a regular job interview. My recommendation is to also practice the example non-tech interview questions. You should have received a link to that from your admission specialist. So prep materials for that. I recommend potentially recording yourself. If that is just weird to you, then you can practice with a friend or family member. Don't stress about this. Ultimately, the interview is really designed to just get to know you better and have a conversation with you. And if you did not receive our technical interview prep sheet, definitely contact your admissions specialist so they can provide that and you can prepare sufficiently. Present positivity, right? So smile, sit up straight, make eye contact. A lot of body language. Your passion for coding can be seen through body language. Your passion to do the program, it can be read really easily, actually. So just keep that in mind and have that positive attitude going into the non-tech. As I said before, treat this as a regular job interview and reframe setbacks in your life as opportunities for growth. That's really important to demonstrate resilience. So, have a specific example for that. What we don't want to see are vague, generic responses. So, someone who doesn't explain why they're interested in software engineering or App Academy in particular, or they maybe have a couple sentence response that just doesn't show us that they have a passion for this, or maybe they just say, I want money. I want more money. That's why I'm doing this. That wouldn't suffice for us. Rambling, so long tangents, a lot of people have problems with this. Very important to be concise in your interview. Taking the interview in an unprofessional setting. That includes a dark room, your car, a cafe, any chaotic environment. Talking negatively about yourself and putting yourself down. I self-deprecate myself. That's just like my personality. So I have to remind myself not to do that when I'm in an interview. So that's something to keep in mind. Eat, vape, smoke, curse. Very straightforward. Do not do those things in the interview. And framing your success as being better than others, like I was the only one who did everything, even if that was true, you don't want to come off like that in an interview. So make sure to prepare appropriately for that. Read off a script or memorize responses. That's not natural, and you want to be as natural as possible, because you won't be able to memorize a script when you're in an interview for a job. Here are some example questions. So to start off, they may ask you, what is your background and what are your career goals? Besides potential salary and flexibility, why do you want to become a software engineer? What does a software engineer do? What have you done to explore coding? Why is App Academy the right fit for you? How have you overcome issues when working on a team? What obstacles have you overcome in your life? What experiences in your life have prepared you for App Academy? And how do you keep yourself motivated and organized? So those are some of the questions you could encounter. I wanted to provide some example responses. So I did do that here. So this is a sample response as an example. So this person responds to the question, what is your background? What are your career goals? In 2017, I graduated from UC Berkeley, magna cum laude, with a BA degree in history. After that, I began working in sales at Credit Karma. I quickly rose up the ranks, achieving 110% monthly quota. I credit this to my efficiency and ability to connect well with our clients and understand their needs. After 5 years in this position, I realized I wanted to gain technical knowledge and create more value add and advance my career in the long term. And so I switched into marketing. After switching into marketing, I quickly found that I enjoyed data and writing HTML code for the email marketing campaigns on Zapier. I also realized I would love to bring my creativity to life by being able to build web pages myself. That's when I began looking into software engineering and web development as a career path. After all, a software engineer is a person who applies the engineering design process to design, develop, maintain, test, and evaluate computer software. I chatted with some friends in the industry and they spoke highly about App Academy. I was drawn to the online part time program mainly due to the marketable JASP curriculum and the emphasis on full stack software engineering as opposed to just front end or back end. Paired programming, rigor, career coaching, job outcomes, and ability to do the course remotely. It also worked well for my schedule since I work full time, and I'm looking forward to embarking on this journey. So let's talk about the sample response and how we evaluate it. This response was considered an excellent response. It included everything asked in the non-technical prep work. So that includes educational background, career history, understanding and passion for software engineering, why App Academy is the best fit for them. And it shows the decision to attend was well thought out and not just made on a whim. And after all, App Academy is a big commitment, right? So now I wanted to contrast that with a poor response. So this is the poor response. I graduated from UC Berkeley in 2017 with a major in econ and math. I then began working as an analyst at Goldman Sachs for a few years. The long hours and toxic work environment turned me off from this career path completely. One of my coworkers attended App Academy and told me that it would likely cater to my strengths, logic, problem solving, etc. He also got placed quickly with the help of the career coaches. With my competitive work history, it will likely be relatively easy for me to get through the program and land a job within 3 to 6 months. So the reason why this is a poor sample response, first off, he did not share any specific quantifiable achievements he made in his role at Goldman Sachs to show he is ready for the rigor of App Academy. He projected a lot of negativity. So even though he was in a toxic work environment, we all know that happens, he shouldn't highlight that in his interview. He did not do in-depth research himself on whether he would be good at coding. He just went off of what his friends said to him. He assumed that the job search wouldn't be difficult due to his university pedigree and company. And while that is an advantage, it's not everything, specifically when there's so much competition and there's so many people interviewing for these roles. I've seen people with, high school diploma get placed faster than someone with even CS degree sometimes. So it really is just something you shouldn't solely rely on to get you through that job search or think it's easy because of that. So many people ask how they can answer the questions if they don't have a college degree or they lack work history. Let's say they're like fresh out of college, for example. So I want to make a point that non-traditional backgrounds are welcome. Just make sure to clearly explain what you have done to explore coding and why software engineering is for you. I suggest doing a few problems on App Academy Open and free courses online so you can reference doing this in your non-tech interview. And use concrete examples that demonstrate your ability to work on a team and overcome obstacles. And I would say doing that for each question is important. So what happens next, right? So you've gotten over the hump, you've completed the 30-minute non-tech interview. You will then receive a response with the results in 2 to 3 business days. If you pass the non-technical interview, you will be accepted and able to enroll. In the event your responses need improvement, you'll be asked to, first you'll be provided with interview feedback, and then you'll be sent a link to re-interview. And this re-interview is done live remote through Zoom with an actual interviewer. And you can schedule the ReNonTech through your Learner Home account. You can also email an admissions specialist if you're having issues with that. Great. So that concludes my presentation on the non-tech interview. And reach out to your admissions specialist if you have any questions, and we're happy to assist. And we want to see you pass and succeed. Okay, thanks so much. Bye.